Alright, so in the last video we created our first Azure repo onto Azure DevOps, and we kind of pulled that repo onto our local system, and we pushed few of our changes as well. And then we saw that how we can import your existing repo which exists on GitHub or any other Git version control system to your Azure repo as well. Over the next few minutes we're going to talk about extended feature of Azure Repos with pull requests and reviewing of your code. Pull requests are to review and merge your code into a specific branch. Ideally, these branches are master branch. So whenever you're working on a real life project, you don't want to push everything on a master directly. You want to have certain approvers your fellow team members who's gonna review your commits, whether they have any breaking changes or if they are syntactically or logically technically correct, and then once they are happy they approve it and then it gets merged to the master branch. You also want to put some of the policies around your branch. Everybody should not be able to push changes to the master. Only appropriate team members should be able to push the changes to the master branch. We're gonna add few of the approvers who would be able to review your changes, make comments, and then push those changes and validate those policies. Alright, let's do a real hands-on and see how you can achieve a pull request and push your first change to Azure repo. I've got my Visual Studio Code editor. Before we go ahead, I would like you to use an extension. If you go to your Visual Studio Code and click on this icon, you would see that there are multiple extension available. If you click on type in Azure Repo, you will see that the extension gonna open up. Feel free to install this extension. This extension tightly integrates with your Azure repo and kind of lets you know that what are the changes you have made onto your repo, and it kind of manages push and pull of your changes right from your terminal. So we're going to see how these changes would be, these extensions going to be beneficial for us. So let's go back to our terminal. We've got our, let's just close this one. We've got our repo. Let's push some changes onto the repo. Let's probably type in one more file, maybe a code editor, maybe create a Terraform file and then add some Terraform code. As soon as you add the main file, you will see that it has given you, the extension has given you that you have made one changes, and you can simply start writing some code over here. Azure RM resource, and then resource reference, put in the name Azure Repo, location West Europe. Alright, you've made your changes. You see by doing a git status, you see that you have certain changes on the main, and if you go over here you would see that the changes you have made, it simply shows you what changes you have made. The plus sign denotes that these are the files or these are the texts you've added. You can simply put your commit message added main.tf for Terraform and simply click on the right button, say yes, and the changes are being pushed. If you see over here, there's 0 to sync and 1 to push. So if you click over here, you see that it's refreshing and pushing the changes, and the changes are being pushed. If you see over here, all your changes, all your recent changes, you would be able to see. You see that you're currently on this branch and whatever the changes you've made. If you click over here, you will see that you have added a main.tf, and this UI is pretty rich text editor. If you go back to your Azure repo, you will see that if you hit refresh, you will see that your main.tf has been pushed just now. And if you click over here, you will see that your repo has been changed. If you want to edit, you can edit over here. Azure repo gives you a rich HTML text editor. You can simply edit it over here as well. You can add one more resource. It gives you auto completion as well. Azure RM repo. Simply add your edited on UI. Add the text over here simply and do a commit. Put a commit message and push your commits. As soon as you push the commit, in the history section you would see that what are the changes you have made. If you go over here, you would see that the main file has been added. These were the changes you have made last. If you go back, you would see that there was a main.tf file added, and with a commit ID as well. This commit ID is specifically required if you want to cherry pick your changes and you want to push those changes onto the branch. Alright, so the content has been pushed. Now what you want to do is you want to push your changes to the master branch. You want to take the changes on your this particular branch, which is Shan new branch, and you want to push your master because that's the branch wherein everybody is going to be working on. This branch is your branch, your branch, and master is the one which is kind of worked across the team. So you go to the master, you go to the files, and then you click on the pull request. You will see there are no active or completed pull requests at the moment. If you click on the new pull request, you can select which branch is the source and what's the branch wherein you want to push your changes to. You want to push into master branch, and we click on branch, and you simply give it the title name, my first Azure Repo PR, and you can type in the description, this is my first Azure Repo pull request, please review. You can simply add the reviewers over here. You can add the team members. I'm adding one of the team members right over here. You can attach the work item as well. Consider work item as the work you're doing on particular project. Now this work item could be an epic, could be a story, could be a task. If you scroll down, all your work items would be listed. You see that there's one item of readme of Azure Repos. If you select that, that's going to be assigned to you, and you're going to create the pull request, and the pull request has been initiated. And you would see that the work item would pop up over here. Reviewer is this particular guy who is going to review your pull request and see if the changes are good or not. If you go to our another terminal, we've opened the Azure repo, and if you go to the repo and go to the pull request, you would see this guy over here has got a pull request to review. If you go over here, you would see that he can see all the changes. You can go to the commits and see the main file. Click over here. He can simply add the comments as well. If he doesn't like anything, he can simply add it over here. This doesn't look complete, please review and revert. If you click on comment, you would see that the comment has been made. If you go back to the user terminal, user UI, you would see that the comment would be coming up over here. If you go to the pull request, show everything. If you go to your commits, and in the comment section you would see the comment has come over here. This doesn't look complete. This guy can simply say, okay, let me make the changes and come back. He can simply reply over here. He can go back to his terminal, go to his main.tf. You would see that the changes which we have made over here over the UI hasn't been reciprocated over here. So what you can do is you can simply do a git pull, which will pull all the changes. You can see that the 6 lines have been added over here. The changes has come up. You can see name. You can add the name over here. Complete your code. Azure commit, or rather pull request, location West Europe. Change it over here as well, and you will see that the changes has been detected over here. Click over here, completed the main file, add your comments, click on the right side and right sign and click on yes, push the changes, and you see that the changes has been pushed. If you click over here, all your changes are now being pushed. If you go back here, you would see that your changes have kind of come up just now, and kind of you go to the pull request. If you go over here, and now you can say that your changes has been, you can add the comment over here, made the changes, or rather you should be making the comments right over here. You can mention over here as well, Shantanu, and kind of tell him changes are being made, comment, and kind of, oh, that's the reviewer where I've added. Either rather you should be adding out over here, should be adding the changes are now being updated, please see the latest commit, and you click on apply, reply and resolve. If you go over here, this guy would be able to see all the changes right over here. You would see that the changes are being done, and once this guy is happy, he can simply go over here, select one of the option, approve with suggestion, wait for author or reject. In this case he's gonna approve it and click on complete, and he's gonna merge it right onto the master branch. Complete merge, and the branch has now been merged. If you go to the pull request, you see that the completed pull request would have 1. All the changes should now be reflecting onto the master branch. Yes, the master has now all the changes which we just did. And now once your changes are being done, you can go to your branches, this particular branch, and you can simply choose to delete the branch as well. Before deleting, you can put some policies as well. Now these policies could be anything. We would first delete the branch because we don't need this branch anymore. The branch has been deleted. The master branch is where you want to put the policies. Now these policies could be anything. Policies would be, you want to protect this branch with a minimum number of reviewers. You want to add 1 reviewer and allow the requester to approve their own changes. Yes. Check for linked worked as well if required or optional. Now linked worked will, like if you want to attach a work item or a repo or a story or anything, or maybe any of your epic you want to attach with your branch. Check for commit resolution and then limit merge type. Build validation is if you have a CI system right with your repo, you can attach that CI system as well. In the next video we We'll see how a CI system kind of works and integrates with your repo, and then you kind of some other policies as well, which kind of requires your approval from additional services or automatically include the approvers. Once you're good, you can save these changes, and the changes are kind of works okay with your branch now. Alright, you could see that the master has got all the changes. It kind of gives you the history. It started over here. You went in, you pulled a new branch, and then you started making the changes onto the branch, and then over here you merge the pull request, and that's why you see a merge or diverging of your branch right onto your intersecting into your main branch. That's how the graph kind of works, and you can see the history over here as well, that what were the changes being made. And if you click on this, you will see that all your changes are kind of all branch, and you see that you started over here, you created new add me, you started editing the readme, and then you pushed the changes onto the master, which gives you the master PR1 and name of your PR, which was there. Alright, that's pretty much all. I hope this was informative. I'll see you in a while. Thank you.